Hi, I'm Vikram from OnlineComputerTeacher.Net. I'm back with a easy C++ tutorial on classes and objects. In this program, I have created a class distance and assigned some one private variable called miles of integer type, and one constructor. Constructor is a function which is same name as the class. So this distance is the constructor. In the constructor, I have initialized the value of the private data members of the class. This private property can be accessed only using the methods of the same class. Methods are distance, getDistance, showMiles, and setDistance. These all are user-defined functions from which you can access, manipulate, modify the data members. The data members can be private, or you can write here public also. If you write public, then the data members will be accessed directly from the program. Directly means what? From outside of the class body. That means here I have created an object. In this line, I have declared the class name here and the variable type of that class. Just like we type int miles, that is integer is the data type and miles is the variable here in the class. When you use variables in your program, actually you use this type of declarations, or to declare variables. Here also I have declared an object named D, which is of class type distance. So this D has all these method as the properties. So d.showMiles will be called this function will be called d.getDistance. So this function will be called, and d.setDistance, then this function will be called. And when you create the D object, then automatically this function is called. You don't have to call it explicitly. This is called the constructor. Constructor is a function having the same name of this class name. Any class name, not only this. A constructor is a special function which does not return anything, don't have any return type. By default it is public. Public means can be accessed like this way from outside of the class body using the objects. This is the main concept of accessing the class members from outside. When it is called outside, that means outside of the class and should be accessed from the object property like this way. This is the object name and this is the function name defined in the class. So when you type d.showMiles, this function is called. This function actually is called a method of the object. Here D is an object of type distance. You can create any number of objects like this, d1, d2, ... I am not writing it. And if you declare a function object called d1, then if you want to call a property of that object, then you have to write d1 dot say showMiles like this way. This way you have to write. And when you create an object, d1, then automatically the constructor is called. That means this variable gets the value 0. I have initialized with 0. You can initialize with 10 or any other values. Data members are by default private in C++, but you can also declare them public. If you declare a data member as public instead of private here, if you write public, then you can access it directly using this d.miles. So in a nutshell, you declare a class, you add data members to the class which can be accessed using the object names like d1, and you have to declare, then after the data members you have to declare the methods. I have declared here public. Some methods can be private also. There is no fixed things like that. So it is up to you what you will do. But how you can access the methods explicitly, then you have to write the object name and method name this way after the period or dot sign. Okay, so this is the basics of a class. And the constructor is a function, special function, which is called automatically when you create an object like this, distance d. So when you create an object, the constructor is automatically called. You don't have to write this way d dot class name distance. You don't have to call this explicitly. It is called implicitly. You don't have to do this. Okay, so I am commenting this line because it is not required. It is called when you create the object distance d, the constructor is called automatically. Okay, so I am now running it, and I've changed the file already many times, so it may give error. Okay, now it is running fine. So distance d, first object is created. So show miles, actually what it does, show miles shows the value of the miles property. Here it is public, no problem. In past I have declared it private. Also it is public now. Okay, I am giving some value to miles variable. Variable means the data members here, actually public member of the class distance. So the show miles, what it does, this from the top it executes downward. So distance d means this already executed miles has 10 values. So first is 10 is displayed by this line. Show miles executes this line, and miles has then 10 values. Then d dot get distance, read the distance from keyboard. This function is used. So I type 5. Okay, now it is 5. So show miles now will show 5. Here show miles is called, and then I have set distance fixed. It is also 5. Okay, now I am writing it 555. Okay, then run it, and okay 6, and check, it is now 555. So this is a basic class, very basic class for the beginners, and I think you have got the idea of a class and object.